Hi, Kristen.
Brittany, how are you?
Kristen.
It's been a couple weeks, Brittany.
I know. I'm back. I'm back. You missed me.
I did miss you. You were absent and I was sad.
I'm so sorry. I much rather would have been doing the podcast.
Yeah.
I was moving, and moving sucks.
Yeah, moving
sucks. Oh, my
Man,
body
I was just
hurts.
cleaning out my garage this afternoon and I'm like, ugh, this blows. And
I'm laying on a
so,
heating pad every night, and I'm going to the chiropractor
oh,
on Friday. Like,
oh my goodness, girl.
Yeah.
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 You poor
Yeah.
baby.
I
You
know.
went and
Feel
got
sorry for
yourself
me.
hurted. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Thank you.
I do.
Well,
So what are we going to talk about this week?
this week we are talking about Halloween, judgment houses, hell houses.
Oh, Judgment House.
Yes.
Yay! So
Yes.
I've been through Judgment. I've gone to Judgment House a couple times. Have you?
You know, I don't know. I was thinking
Oh.
about this. I don't know. I went to an event with a boyfriend when I was a freshman in high school at his church. And everyone was dressed up, I think. So I don't think it was, but I wonder if it was the same kind of idea.
Concept.
So what they did, it was kind of like one big room that was set up like a carnival, and they had all of these booths you could go to, and it was all this fun stuff, right? So all the kids were given tickets, and they were having all this fun. And I remember we were playing all the games and winning all this stuff. But Jesus was walking around the room, and he was tapping people on the shoulders, and he was saying, "Would you like to follow me? Come with me." And you could be like, well, no thanks, and keep playing your game. Well, we decided to follow Jesus.
You and your boyfriend?
Yes. And we went back into some room where there were like 8 of us went into a room. Are you
telling me a strange man lured you into a back room?
Yes, and we went. A strange man in a robe, no less, with a wig, fake beard. And we went.
That sounds
and there
a
were
little
like
concerning.
8, I know, at a church, no less. And
there
were
been
only
a lot
like
of men
8
in robes
of them
that have lured
children
into back rooms at a church. Yeah,
I know. Well, maybe I'm remembering this memory incorrectly. Maybe this is actually part of my trauma. Thank you, Kristen.
He was Jesus, but then he started hugging us and hugging.
He wanted us to sit on his lap. Oh, God. No. Ew. Sorry to anybody who has been traumatized in that way in the church.
Oh, my heavens. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
But no,
that's scarier than Judgment House.
Well, anyway, once the whole thing was over, they told us that we were the ones who were saved, because broad is the path that leads to destruction, and all of those other kids decided to keep playing the toys and playing the games and having their fun. They all went to hell. And we, the 8 of us, listened to the voice of Jesus and were saved.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad you were saved. What did they do to the other people? Did they stab them with pitchforks?
No, so it wasn't a true judgment or hell house, because I know that's, kind of so tell me, you have gone a few times, right? Was it a judgment house or a hell house? Because they're different.
I went to Judgment House twice.
Okay.
Yeah,
so tell me about your experience.
Okay, so you want me to tell you the whole deal?
Well,
like how the whole thing went down? Or
well, yeah, tell me what you thought of it. I mean, how about we start off by, I'll just give a little explanation of what the Judgment House
Okay. Yeah.
is, which I thought this was interesting. I didn't know if you knew this or not, but that the Judgment House, guess who, guess whose idea the original Judgment House was. And
Uh, oh
I will
boy.
just give you a clue that we have now mentioned this guy twice on our podcast, and you go to his college.
I was gonna say it must be Jerry Falwell.
Yes, this damn guy.
He's everywhere.
He has
Uh
ruined America. Yes. In the 70s, the Judgment House was the idea of Jerry Falwell, who wanted to put a stop to all the sinful stuff that was happening in America. Number one being
and
abortion
scare the Jesus into him, I
and the
guess.
gays.
Oh right.
The
Yeah.
yes.
The gays and
So
the baby
they
killers.
yes. So
Ay
they came
caramba.
up with this idea to, instead of the evil pagan holiday of Halloween, we
Right.
will show them what hell is really about.
And they do.
Yeah. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
this whole production that churches put on, that
Mhm.
instead of Halloween, they do the Hell House or the Judgment House
Mhm.
to lead people through this little experience to show them what they will endure if they do not repent of their evil
Mhm.
ways, right?
That's right.
Okay, so then now go ahead. Tell us about your experience.
Yeah, so it's set up like a haunted house
Yeah.
and you come in
Now,
and
are you going through it individually or as a group?
no, you go through as a group.
Okay.
So there's a group of like 10 or 12 people at a time
Mhm.
that go through. And then there's a guide that takes you through it to the different
Okay.
scenes. There's different scenes that you witness,
Okay.
basically. So you're really just an observer for the most part. Although you
Okay.
so you give them your name at the beginning.
Right. So I think they do incorporate your name at different
They
points, right?
do. Yes, they do. Yeah.
Mm.
So the first scene is setting up the storyline.
Okay.
And there's a different story every year. So it always is based around a
Oh.
tragic death. Now, some
Right.
people die as believers and some people die as unbelievers. So the beginning of the story, it's setting up the story. So let's take, for instance, one of the ones I went to was um, called The Silent Killer. And it was a family that had just, I don't know, enjoyed a night out with each other and blah blah blah. And one of the like middle school girls had invited a friend to stay the night, and they were like, do you know Jesus? And I'm like, yeah, but I don't really buy into that, crap or whatever. And so they make it clear who believes in Jesus and who does not. And
Okay.
then everyone went to sleep that night, and apparently the furnace leaked some
Carbon
carbon
monoxide
monoxide.
poisoning.
So everybody
Um.
died in their sleep. So,
Oh.
yeah, so everyone died in their sleep. So then, as you move through to the different scenes, it shows the believers walking into like heaven, and the Lord is up there calling out their name from the book of life, and they get to enter into heaven. But the other people are not in the book of life, and they're like, what? But I want to. It's too late. You didn't choose Jesus while you were alive.
And the
And so
demons
then the demons come out all robed in
come,
black, and they grab them and they pull them
pull them
into this
back into hell.
darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you go into the next scene, and it's the scene of hell. And it is dark and it's hot. They have heaters in there going like blazing hot. So you're sweating for real. And then
Oh my
people are
God.
screeching and clawing, and they're clawing at themselves, and they're writhing, and they're
Yes.
miserable, and they're just,
Yes.
they're crying out in anguish. And
Agony.
oh, yeah. I mean,
Yes. And the smoke and the strobe lights and it's
yeah, right. And so,
the demons are
this
torturing them.
innocent middle school girl that was just staying the night with her friend now finds
She's
herself
now
in the pits of hell
getting
with
tortured
all,
for all
yeah,
eternity.
being tortured for all of eternity.
What
So
had she
thank
done that was so awful in her life?
she had not accepted Jesus when she
That was
was
it?
given the opportunity. That is correct.
Oh,
She was like,
yeah.
I don't think I believe in this stuff. Well, then you are
Oh.
condemned to the fiery pits of hell. So, um, right. So
Yes.
then thankfully they move you from that room into heaven. And it's nice and cool in there, so you get to cool
Uh-huh.
off. And there is a choir of
Oh,
angels, Brittany, a choir of angels.
I bet.
They're all robed in white and they're singing
White robes.
hallelujah choruses. And then
Uh-huh.
Jesus walks in.
Does it
What?
make you want to go to this place?
Um, it's a little cheesy and
I
creepy,
mean,
actually, heaven with all these
yeah.
people
That doesn't
singing
sound like
and
a place I would want to go.
right. Well, and then Jesus walks by and starts hugging you. He
What? No.
Yes, he says, "Welcome, my beloved," and puts his arms around you and hugs you.
No. Oh,
And
can a church make it any creepier?
right. And
No.
so he says that to every
Mm-mm.
single person. He walks through and hugs and welcomes every single person. And then there's this whole hullabaloo of like singing songs of praise and yada yada yada. And then they move you on through to the end and they're like, if you've been touched by this, if you feel the Lord is calling you, yeah, blah, 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 then you can come and talk to one of our counselors, our prayer
Right.
partners, and
Oh,
we will pray for
yeah.
you and lead you
Then
to
they do the
salvation in Christ.
altar call
Yes.
essentially.
Well,
Oh,
except it's
geez.
like private. They take you into other private rooms
By
and pray
yourself?
with you. Well, you or one other person that you came with.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
So that you can pray
Yeah,
in,
there's just nothing
in
creepier than
private.
that.
So,
Oh, wow.
it truly scares the Jesus into people. And they always have these like big, after Judgment House usually runs for a couple weeks. And at the end of Judgment House, then the church puts up all these numbers of lives saved.
Oh, of course.
And,
Right. Of all
because
the kids who
youth
came and prayed
groups
with them.
from all churches all over the city are bussed in to go to this thing.
I
And they're like,
know.
"Oh, I don't want to go to
Right.
hell where it's hot and people are screeching and scratching
Well,
themselves."
oh my God. I found this interview. There's this woman named Kelly Baker, Dr.
Okay.
Kelly Baker, and she writes
Mm.
on religious trauma and religion and everything. And she did this interview about her Judgment House experience. And she said, the guide told us that we had to make a choice, right? About where
Mm.
you're going to go at the end of the Judgment House.
Mm-hmm.
The door on the left would take us to heaven, the one on the right to hell. In retrospect, of course, I wish I had chosen hell. I later heard a rumor that those kids were given fruit punch and cookies. Those who opted for heaven had to sit at a table with one of the deacons of the church while he
Oh,
thumbed clumsily through a Bible, reading a few passages from the Gospel of John.
oh, that does sound like hell.
Like those poor kids. We
Yeah.
just, you know, were peer pressured into going to heaven, and now we have to sit here and listen to this
And
deacon.
endure all this
We
crap.
could have
Yeah.
had cookies. Damn
Right.
it.
Right.
I thought that was pretty great. So yeah, the in 1999, the Trinity Church, which is in Colorado, this was in 1999. It became pretty popular, the Judgment Houses, because the Trinity Church, which is just right outside of Columbine, did a
Mhm.
Judgment House based on the Columbine shooting just months after it happened.
Oh. Yeah.
Right. So that was their storyline, was
Okay.
essentially
Sure.
the Columbine story where
Right.
these kids bust
Somebody
in
breaks
and
into the
start
school. Yeah.
gunning down other children. And that girl who
Right.
was like, the story of the guy put the gun to her head, "Do you believe in Jesus?" And she said, "Yes,
Yeah.
I do." And he killed her and she became this
Right.
big deal, right?
Yeah.
So that was the whole thing. But there was huge controversy, of course, around that. Like these kids are
Yeah.
still, like, the
They're already
entire
traumatized.
nation is still traumatized about this, and you're
Yeah.
going to make this the focus of your judgment house and scare kids into being saved. Yeah, that's
Right.
a
Right.
great great idea. So Dr.
Right.
Kelly
Oh my
Baker goes
gosh.
on to say that the judgment house, in theory, is based on the evangelical narrative arc of purity, its corruption, and then either a dramatic redemption or terrible condemnation.
Mhm.
So she said when she went, there were different rooms that you could go to show different sins, basically, right?
Oh.
So it was in one room, there was a naive group of children dabbling in the occult by playing with a Ouija board. In another,
Ooh.
there's an unwed couple who got a little handsy while Boys to Men played in the background.
Oh my gosh.
In another room, there's a goth kid with a chain wallet who smoked weed. And most vividly, two climactic scenes representing characters. Oh, two climactic scenes: the abortion girl and the
Oh my
suicide
goodness.
girl.
Oh my gosh. That's horrible.
Both of them died.
Yeah.
So the abortion girl dies, and the
Yeah.
suicide girl dies. And of course, they go
Oh
to
yeah, they're dragged off
hell
to hell. Mhm.
where death metal is blaring out of large speakers suspended from the ceiling.
Yes. Well, that's true. Whatever sound they had play, I mean, it was this loud, deafening sound and all the screaming and all the yeah. And they were
Yes.
blasting um, like steam at us too, like heat
Yeah.
steam.
Steam, yeah,
Yeah.
the smoke, the strobe lights, the, like,
Mhm.
so, yeah, just complete sensory overload
Yeah.
for these kids who are going in and oh god, I can't imagine.
Right. Yeah, it was terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, not for me because I was a full-fledged adult and I understood what it was gonna be like,
Oh,
but
you were an adult when you went through.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so did you go through and were you like, "Wow, this is amazing, like, God is good." Were you kind of in that mindset, or
No,
were you
I
like,
was
"This
like, "This
is
is cheesy
fucked
AF."
up"?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. I mean, I would assume
Yeah.
that from you, but
Right. I mean, they put a lot of effort into it. There's a lot of
oh, for
time and
sure.
money and hundreds of volunteers and to pull
Yes.
this thing off, and it has to be held at a pretty large church because they,
Oh, yeah, some mega
cart
church in
people
town.
yeah. Um,
Of
but
course.
oh
Tons
my
of
gosh,
volunteers.
cheesy AF for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I
Well,
was like, "Oh, Lord." I
there
just eye
was
rolled the whole time.
oh, I bet. Now, there was another article that made a good point that they said in their church they were really recruiting a lot of female volunteers because they needed women to be the sinners. And there
Oh.
was in a lot of the judgment houses, there's a lot of themes around female sexuality and that the
Oh.
women were the ones who go to hell. So there was like
Oh.
a date
Mhm.
rape scene where this girl gets date raped. She gets pregnant by the date rape and goes and has an abortion and gets sent to hell. So the rapers don't get sent to hell.
You
The
don't see the
woman gets sent
rapers
to
get sent to
hell.
hell? Oh my
No,
god.
the woman gets sent to hell.
Oh, what a
Or
lovely
I, yeah, just like that there were a lot of themes around that.
Oh, that's
It said
gross.
yeah, or in another one, a girl gets date raped at a rave, then she committed suicide and goes
Uh,
to hell because she committed suicide. Not so like just a lot of really
shame.
bad, nasty themes in which it's skewed,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
people went through as teenagers and were later reflecting on it going, that was really messed up because the scenes were really messed up. I had friends who had experienced that. There was one person who
Right.
said that the demons were all dressed in blackface, which is
I
a
don't really
common theme.
remember, but
That's a common theme that, like, you know, the dressed in
yeah.
blackface because,
Right.
you know, so
Yeah,
yeah,
that holds a lot of historic racial prejudice to it. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
yikes.
So, yeah, I mean, it has been all over the world, different countries. There was a
Oh,
church
really?
who actually put out a Judgment House kit, a 270-page instruction manual that cost $200 and involved scripts including abortion, homosexuality, gang violence, drugs, and school shootings. And there were just these kits were sent all over the world.
Good lord. I
Yeah.
think the other one that I attended was around a car wreck. Like a family had gone out to dinner together
Yeah.
and then they
Well,
got in
yours
a car wreck
sounds
on the way
pretty
home.
tame compared to
Well,
some of
at
these
least the
other ones.
two that I went to, but then again,
Yeah.
I went to these maybe 5-6 years ago. So,
Okay,
more
maybe they've
recent. So, yeah,
backed
or
it
maybe
off.
they ran out of salacious storylines. If they're trying to mix it up,
Well,
they're like, how are people going to die?
well
Okay,
there
well, we did
was
that one.
there was a documentary in 2002 about Hell House,
Okay.
which is kind of like the Judgment Houses but I think worse. And
Okay,
there
I've never heard of that.
I didn't see the documentary.
Okay.
I wish I'd watched it before this. So if anybody has seen it and you have opinions, please let us know. But
Right.
I'm sure that after that documentary came out, they probably rethought some of their ways.
Yeah.
I bet because I don't think it puts it in a good light.
Well, I know
It was
for the
really
church that I know for the church that I attended, um, they require you to be at, at least fifth grade and with parental supervision if you're younger
oh
than
my
15 or
god.
something like that. Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, no child should be
Right.
exposed
They
to
were
that.
like, young children should not be attending.
Yeah.
So at
No,
least they
they
did that.
shouldn't. I mean,
But
that's good. That's
I
good.
mean, still
Now,
mess up a
I
kid.
know. Seriously. So, I wanted to kind of open it up and talk about just Halloween because, you know, churches do this thing because they
Yeah.
can't celebrate Halloween.
Yeah.
Now, there are other things that churches do for Halloween, such as
Neowalla?
Neowalla festivals.
Yes, and
Neowalla
fall festival. A
fall
fall festival.
festivals or trunk or treat.
Yes, trunk or treat.
We'll do a trunk or treat. But we
Right.
don't celebrate Halloween.
Right. No, we're not going to talk about
Mm-mm.
Halloween and no scary costumes allowed.
That's right. No demons and no witches,
Right.
but hookers and
Right. Slutty costumes,
drug
fine.
dealers, sexy maids. Any of that is fine,
Right.
but no demons and no witches. Yes, exactly. Zombies are fine. Mummies are even okay. Skeletons are
Well,
just fine too.
if you think about it,
But
Jesus is kind of a zombie. I mean, he was dead and
he
buried and
was.
then rose again
Up from the
and walked
grave he
around.
arose.
Yeah.
That's right. He was a zombie, kind of
So,
ish.
you know.
Mhm. Put a little stigmata on the zombie, and you're just fine.
Right.
So, okay, Neowalla is if you don't know, Neowalla is Halloween spelled backwards.
Because by spelling it
And
backwards, it undoes the evil.
that's right.
It
Yes. Did
unevils it.
you know that the biggest Neowalla festival in the country is in Independence, Kansas?
Really? Independence,
I
Kansas?
had no idea. I lived in Wichita for so
Okay.
many years and never
Yeah.
made it. I wish I had gone.
Well, yeah.
They even have a queen, a
A
Neowalla
Neowalla
queen.
queen.
Yeah, it's a
That
big
sounds
deal, I
delightful.
guess.
Better
But
than a
it
drag queen
started
because you know how they feel about drag queens.
oh,
Uh,
no. There would never be a drag queen
right.
at the festival,
Not
no.
in our libraries, by God. And
No, hell no.
definitely, yeah.
Keep them away from our kids.
What was the meme you sent me the other day about
Oh, yeah, I posted
uh
it said, "Watch out, parents."
be sure
We've
and
been
check your
finding
children's candy? Yeah.
for drag queens reading stories to your children, and it's a picture of a candy bar with a little drag queen sitting inside the Snickers bar.
Sitting on a little stool holding a book.
I died.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh. No, we
god.
don't worry about drugs and razor blades. Worry about a drag queen
Drag queen showing up,
reading
reading
a story to
stories to
your
your children,
child.
and handing out candy. Oh, that's the best.
I want some drag queen candy.
Ah,
I
me
bet drag queen
too.
candy is the best, actually. Think how
Hell
flavorful it
yeah.
would be.
Ah,
It would be sweet
I
like
love
sugar,
it.
girl.
Yes. So the Neowalla Festival, of course, was started because this little small town in Kansas couldn't celebrate Halloween. So they
No, because
needed to
that.
do something alternative for the children.
Okay.
So they started the Neowalla Festival. Now, I didn't grow up in Kansas, but we had Neowalla festivals growing up in
Okay.
Ohio that we had. I remember it being called Neowalla. And I was like, oh, that's so
Yeah.
creative. That's so great. Because we don't want to celebrate Halloween. Ugh, that's
Well,
stupid.
I grew up in Kansas. I did grow
And
up
you
in
never
Kansas.
went? I
Well, no, I
know.
didn't live. I grew up in like a Kansas City area,
Oh,
like a
okay. That's
suburb
pretty
of Kansas
far.
City. But, you know, I remember because this is the 70s and, racing through the neighborhood, not with our parents in tow, racing through the neighborhood with friends, going to as many houses as we could
Of
possibly
course.
hit before everybody shut off their lights. And of course, the one house in the neighborhood that had all the lights shut off and you couldn't, they
Yeah, the
weren't handing out
pastors.
goodies. They were um Nazarenes. They
Okay.
were from the Church of the Nazarene. And now remember that I did not grow up Christian and my household did not hold any religious beliefs. And but this particular family in our neighborhood would never participate in like in the Christmas our neighborhood would do luminaries. Like
Yeah.
where you fill little paper bags
Oh,
with sand
yeah.
and put a candle in them? Nope, not the Nazarenes. And my dad would always say, "Oh, those damn Nazarenes." And so
I
I
love
just
that
grew
your
up.
dad would say that's
Yes.
hilarious.
So I
Those
grew up
damn
thinking
Nazarenes.
Nazarenes were just evil, hateful people. I didn't even realize Nazarene was a
What it was?
denomination for most of my childhood.
That is
Yeah. It's
so
like, "Oh,
funny.
those damn Nazarenes." Always spoiling everybody's joy. Yeah.
Those damn Nazarenes.
Yeah, so we lived in a
Oh,
town where they have a huge Nazarene university, and we were just a
okay.
couple miles from that, so the whole town was overrun with Nazarenes, but, uh,
Oh,
most people
That's
I mean
so funny.
there must have been more than this one family of Nazarenes in our entire huge, you know,
Those
supposing
damn
developed
Nazarenes.
neighborhood.
Oh, it's so
So, but
funny
that
that that's
family,
how they were
no.
labeled. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Man, that's
yeah,
funny.
as
Well,
just, curmudgeons. We just knew
yeah.
them as, like, the grumpy old farts that were just shaking
Yeah.
their fists at kids. "You get out of here, you pesky kids,"
Yeah, you
uh
Satan worshipers.
Right.
So like we've talked on the podcast quite a bit about my mom and, that we
Yes.
grew up pretty fundamentalist and God love her. She always took me Halloween trick or treating. I mean, we celebrated Halloween. She
Oh,
loved it. We
good.
loved it. Yeah. Now, I
Good.
could never dress as anything evil,
Right.
but she took me trick or treating and we always
Yeah.
dressed up and we always had fun. And I just appreciate that even though it's Satan's holiday, she would say, "Oh, that's stupid. It's not. It's just
Yeah.
fun.
Well,
It's just
good for her.
candy."
I mean,
Yeah.
your Disco Duck album was
I
evil
was
and had to
evil.
be shattered,
Yeah. Now listen, that was
but
when I was 3 and I think she kind of grew after that,
okay.
but
Oh, that's
yeah.
good to know. That's good to
Yeah.
know. So, here's my
Yeah.
question, Britt. You, if our listening audience doesn't yet know, you personally are a connoisseur of like horror movies and all
Yes.
things creepy and
Mhm.
paranormal and fucked up. So tell me,
Indeed.
tell
Yes.
me, how did you develop this in your fundamental Christian home?
Ooh, good question, Kristen.
Yeah,
Well, okay, so my parents were never together.
right.
They were married very briefly. Okay,
Yeah.
so they divorced when I was like 3 months old. So I've never known
Okay.
my parents together. So my mom was very Christian fundamentalist. She still is very,
Mm-hmm.
very Christian. My dad's family not so much. And so
Ah, okay.
my aunt um I remember her bookshelves lined with Stephen King and, we
Okay.
watched
Okay.
Poltergeist when I was like in 2nd grade. I mean, we just grew up watching Halloween, the movie
Yeah.
Halloween that was our tradition every
Yeah.
single
Yeah.
year. So that my dad's that side of the family has always been really into darker things.
Okay. Yeah.
And I've
Yeah.
loved it. Now, the other thing, so I think I just grew up with like it scared me kind of ish, but not so much. I just
But it
grew up
was
and was
fun.
used to it.
Yeah.
Now, my mom said that when I was about 4 or 5, and I remember this, she walked in, I had a babysitter and she walked in and the babysitter had on The Exorcist. I was about 5. And I remembered this scene where this girl had a weird face and like
Yeah.
she was throwing up on somebody or something. I just
Yep.
remember that. And then like some other weird memories of people being buried alive in the sand and being eaten by fire ants. And now that's not in the
Nice.
Exorcist movie, but that's a
No.
horror movie of a
Sure.
different kind. So apparently, this babysitter and I just watched horror movies all day,
Awesome.
every day when I was
Awesome.
like 4 or 5 years old. So
So,
it's just been
he
something that,
desensitized you to it, apparently.
yeah, for sure. There's not much that scares me, and
Yeah.
I love it. Now,
Yeah.
I'm also a psychologist, and I know that traumatic experiences can make you more susceptible to kind of wanting like it's almost like a high. I enjoy
A
being
compulsion,
scared or
like,
I am
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so sometimes that can, people who
Yes.
experience trauma are just more drawn to the dark the dark side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah. So I just really enjoy it. It's fun for me. It's not something that scares me. It's not something that I feel is evil. Like, I'm not off doing satanic things or whatever that means.
No, I mean,
Evil
just because you
things.
lived in a
It's
house
just
that
I
had,
enjoyed it.
cats
No,
dissected and
that's
hanging from trees
true.
doesn't mean
Then there was that.
that
Like there was
yeah.
just it's threaded through my entire life was a lot of
Yeah,
weird dark stuff and it's
right.
just I just think it's interesting and funny at this point. I'm like, well, this was me. I mean, this was also something that happened was God, this was probably when I was also like a freshman in high school. Um that they found a woman's arms in our woods. There were body parts in
Oh.
our woods. So
Oh,
there
that's
was a
nice.
yeah. So like just really weird, fucked up stuff that happened
Yeah.
like threaded through my childhood. And so it was like, well, this is
Ugh.
just one more thing,
Now, do
you
you
know?
remember, like, back in the 70s and probably early 80s? So I'm 6 years older than you, so I have a lot of memories from the 70s, and you probably don't not because you were just a wee little tot. Um, but there were only, like, 3 channels for viewing back then. This is
Yeah.
before the days of cable TV, and it was, like,
Right.
ABC, NBC, CBS, and then you had, like, the local
Oh,
network
yeah.
that had, like, Sesame Street on it or whatever. Um,
And we were in the country, so we had nothing.
oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, I remember, um, that the big networks would show The Exorcist because I saw it as a
Oh,
child
did you
on
really?
regular TV, and
That
I
is
saw I mean, now they edited a lot of the scary parts,
okay.
and, where she's stabbing herself in the vagina with the crucifix, that didn't make it onto, CBS.
Darn. Yeah.
Right, I know.
Uh-huh.
And also The Shining, I saw The Shining so many
Oh,
times
yeah. And
on
you were
regular
little?
TV.
So
Yeah.
your parents like let you watch this and stuff. They didn't
Yeah, they also let us
mind?
watch Cheech and Chong movies. And, like, Fast Times at Ridgemont High long before I understood
Yeah.
sex or drugs,
Oh,
and
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh, that's
yeah,
funny.
they let us watch a lot of things naively, um,
Mhm.
that, of course, I'm sure if they had to
Yeah, but I
rewind, they
think
would
there's
be like,
something
"Nope."
good about it. Like I appreciate that when I watch those scary movies with my aunt and my grandma,
Mhm.
there was just a lightheartedness to it. Like
Right,
this
watching it
isn't
with the
real.
family
Yeah.
in your
Yeah,
living
like
room, was just
yeah. And
kind of
it's like,
fun.
"Ooh, it's spooky. Let's go
I was
watch
like,
it,"
"Ew,
you know, and
so
we're going to get
gross.
scared.
The girl's head is turning
Right.
around and now she's levitating. Oh, she speaks in a deep
"Ooh, look
voice
at
for
those
a little girl."
guts."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, like, then
Right,
as I got older, I really came to appreciate it. So now I watch Halloween, of course. It's a tradition. We have to watch Halloween every single
right.
year, as well as Garfield's Halloween, which
Garfield's
is
Halloween.
okay, which is the best show ever.
Okay, okay, well,
It's a
I'm gonna have to watch it.
tradition.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I'm
well,
absolutely gonna have
we
to
grew
watch
up
that.
watching Garfield's Halloween, and now my
Aw,
boys have to watch it, and we have to, yeah, we're gonna do a video call so we can all watch it together because we have to watch Garfield's Halloween. It's the
aw, that's so
best.
cute. Well, yeah, you're in 3 different places now, aren't you? You and your 2 boys?
Yes. Yes, we
Yeah.
are.
It
Yeah.
sucks that they're grown up, doesn't it?
Ugh.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm
It does
getting
suck.
very close to becoming an empty nester myself. My
I
youngest
know it's really
is a
hard.
senior in high school. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. I
So
know. It's
my
still
oldest is
tough.
is
Now, did
600
you?
miles away.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's far. Did you do Halloween stuff with your kids?
Oh, yes.
You did. I
Yes.
remember
Oh, yes. We took
we
them
went
trick or
trick or
treating.
treating at your house.
Oh, did you?
We
Yay.
did.
I lived in a
Yes.
great neighborhood
Yeah,
when
you
we
did.
were in Wichita. I lived in a really young
Yeah, the
neighborhood.
best.
Yeah, and so
We drove to
people
your neighborhood because we lived in a crappy one. So we drove to your neighborhood.
yeah, yeah, and there were lots of lights and it was safe and,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I lived in a fun neighborhood for that kind of stuff. And there were people would bring trucks with a trailer, like with hayrack rides of kids from, I don't know, local, smaller towns or out in the country, and just cart in tons of people into our
Oh
neighborhood.
my gosh.
Yeah. But I lived in a large neighborhood too. So
Yeah.
you could just, I mean, it was endless amounts of streets and homes that you could get candy from.
And
So,
they had a whole your neighborhood had a whole I remember a whole back section with the humongous
oh
$1,000,000
yeah,
houses.
yes, some of those huge homes back there. Well, it's funny you say that, Brittany, because I lived in phase one of the neighborhood. So I lived,
Uh-huh.
the oldest, smallest houses in the neighborhood. And phases 1 through 3 were in my side of the neighborhood, and then there was like a creek with bridges over to
There were the
phases
railroad
4 and
tracks.
5.
Right.
Yes,
There was the
and
tracks you had to cross.
we used to call it Camp Have and Camp Have Not.
Uh-huh.
So, I would tell the kids, "Well, go trick or treating in Camp Have, because they're giving out the good candy over there."
Yeah.
My kids would go over there with, like,
Yeah, so did we.
suitcases practically, and they were like,
They were giving out
"Full-size
full-size
candy
candy
bars."
bar.
Yeah, like, they had to show off how rich they were. They were like,
Right.
"We're not giving you the scraps from, like, that giant bag of random different colored Tootsie Rolls and that crap." No, they were
Oh,
giving
I
away, like,
know.
full-size Snickers bars and full-size Twix.
I know. What?
Jeez. I know. They were
Damn.
just showing off at that point.
They were showing off. Yeah, that's just showing off. Oh god. Well, I can't say much because we have a 12-foot skeleton, so we kinda show
That's
off for Halloween too.
so awesome. Yeah, I've got another friend that's totally into Halloween and has the 12-foot skeleton too, and they keep it up year round and just put
Oh,
different
do they? The
clothing
costumes.
on it for
Yeah.
different holidays.
We
Yeah,
decided not to be those people. We do take him down, but mhm.
yeah. No,
Yeah,
their skeleton
so
stays up year round just to piss off the neighbors,
yeah,
really.
we considered it because there was a neighbor who we didn't like, and he had a camera that was always pointed directly at
Oh, isn't that fun?
our house. So
Yeah.
yeah, we
Mm.
thought about what we could do with the skeleton, how we could position him to always be
I can
telling
figure out which bones should be pointing towards
right
the
which
camera.
bones should be
Yeah.
pointed. Uh-huh. We
Mhm.
might add a few little bones so that he's always has a major erection pointed towards the neighbor.
All right, he's holding like a
Oh.
giant Playboy in one hand and a giant bottle of baby oil in another.
Oh my god.
I've got a boner.
Oh,
Oh my.
that's amazing. Okay, so here is Christian, you might not know this, but there are some reasons why Christians should not celebrate Halloween. Did you know this?
Oh,
Do
well,
you know
please
why it's
tell.
evil?
Something about pagan holiday or All Saints Day and All Hallows
Yeah.
Eve and yeah.
Well, I just wanted to make sure that you and our listening audience are aware
Okay,
so
yes,
that they
please
can make a
educate me.
good informed decision about
Mm,
whether they are celebrating Halloween this year or not.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Oh, I
Hallow
might decide to be like one of the Nazarenes in my
Yeah.
neighborhood and just
Well, yeah, you don't
shut
want to
that
open
shit
yourself up.
down.
Yeah, giving
Right,
the devil a foothold and open up portals and all this stuff. So,
right.
Halloween is a demonic pagan celebration.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you know this? It's believed that on Halloween, the door between the realms of demons or the
Oh.
second heaven and the living is opened, and all manner of evil can be manifested on this holy day for satanic worshipers, witches, warlocks, and demons.
Oh my.
Uh-huh.
Well, isn't
So
that what
there's a portal
Halloween
that
means?
opens.
Doesn't it
It's
mean like
all Hallows
holies?
Eve.
Oh, All Hallows Eve. Okay.
right, where they would celebrate and just honor the dead, right?
Right.
Our holy people, and we would honor them. So, um, it is the spiritual opposite of the resurrection of Christ.
Oh, okay.
Right. So,
Because that would be the
these
holiest of days when our
instead of a
Savior
resurrection,
proved that he was, yeah,
it's
God.
all about death and staying
It's
dead. Right.
okay.
And on
Wow,
this
that sounds
day,
awful.
evil people, satanic worshipers, witches, and warlocks, those are the three
And small
that they
children in
use.
Dora the Explorer costumes are
Right.
out causing all kinds of evil mayhem.
On this night, they perform satanic ceremonies to spiritually attack the Church of Jesus Christ and Christian communities. On that night,
Wow.
that's what they're out there doing.
Do you
Those
think that
sat
they're intentionally targeting the churches Jesus Christ and Christian communities?
Yes.
Do you think they're
That's what it
thinking to
says.
themselves, let us,
Those
yeah,
satanic those Satan worshipers, witches, and warlocks,
mm,
those 3 are out targeting the churches.
wow.
Mhm.
Well, that's a shame.
Oh,
They're
did you
not
know
just
this?
doing their own practice, they're intentionally targeting Christians.
That's what they're out there doing. They're doing seances and rituals and evil things to target the people of God.
Oh,
That's what they're doing all night long.
well, that
And
sounds scary and awful, and that sounds
oh,
worse than The
that's
Exorcist.
yes. Okay, Satan, our enemy, loves when lost people celebrate Halloween because it brings a generational curse lasting 4 generations
Oh my gosh!
upon those who celebrate it and their families, specifically 4 generations.
Boy,
So if you
howdy. I've
celebrate
never read this
Halloween,
in the Bible. I'm not sure where this is
mhm,
located in,
it's
in the
somewhere.
God's word that
It's
this
somewhere
is,
in there.
hmm,
There's a
wow.
ripple effect, and it attaches a curse to the next generation and 3 more after. Did you know that?
Well, Brittany, you know what this means. Your grandchildren,
I know.
your great grandchildren
And great, great,
are
great,
gonna
great,
be
great.
cursed.
Don't I know it?
Oh gosh. No wonder
Right.
this world is going to
Because
pot. It's because everybody
bec-
celebrates Halloween and invites Satan in, and all the generations are cursed. It's like a giant
right.
pyramid scheme of evil.
It that's exactly what it is. Yeah, a giant pyramid. I mean, I love Halloween, so I let my children go trick or treating and
Oh
celebrate
gosh.
Halloween. I mean, my sons were fat clowns for years. That was the
Oh,
preferred, they were a fat clown. And
well, that is pretty scary,
so
actually.
they might, I
But
know. I can see how it happens,
mm,
you
yeah,
know? Okay, so
just
why the
inviting in the evil.
costumes?
Okay, why? Oh, it's to scare off the demons, right? Wasn't that
No,
originally it? To scare off
no,
the. Oh,
nope. It's
okay.
so
Tell
that
me.
you can pose as something you are not, and by doing so, you invite demonic attacks upon your life and those of your family members. Satan is the greatest identity thief. And so when
Oh,
you dress up as something that you are not, you are acting like Satan.
wow.
That's what it's
What
about.
about when I go to an interview and I wear nice clothes and I put on an air of confidence when I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about? Am
If
I
that is
inviting
not your
Satan
true
in?
self, yes, because Satan, quote, masquerades as an angel of light. 2 Corinthians 11:14.
Thank
He
you, Bible
masquerades.
lady.
He dresses up
Yeah. Oh, he's
in
going to a
costume.
masquerade ball. Yeah. As like he's the belle of the ball. Satan is the belle of the ball.
Oh, I bet he's so pretty. Oh,
I
little
bet
dress.
he's the angel of
In
light.
his little dress. Mm-hmm.
Yes. All flouncy and purty. Yes, he's got
Mm-hmm.
his hair up in curls. Oh,
Mhm.
Satan, you
Oh, okay. Do you
pretty
ever
little
carve
devil.
pumpkins?
Yes.
Do you know that you should not?
Because this, this is awful, Brittany. This is awful. I feel like I've just been creating seances around my house, inviting evil
Listen,
in.
Kristen,
Okay.
I care about your soul. I'm educating you.
Please tell me what I should and should not do.
Carving pumpkins is an open invitation for demons to enter your house.
Well, fuck. How many demons live here now? Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
I
the
thought it was
carved
just a fun family activity, and then we would roast the pumpkin seeds and eat those for the next couple weeks. Here
Okay,
I
so
thought it
there
was
are
just delightful fun.
no.
Shit.
There are specific symbols that if you have them in or around your home, it invites demons into your house. It's like an open invitation for demons to come on in. This is a welcome home for you. This is a place
And
for you.
one of those
Carved
symbols is like
pumpkins.
a toothless grin, like a
Yes, a
pumpkin.
carved pumpkin or goblin
Uh,
statues or spider webs apparently.
wow. Okay.
Spider webs! Do you know
You
how
know
many
what?
spider webs I have in my house
Yeah,
every day?
yeah, yeah.
So demons see spider webs on my porch and they're like, I'm coming in.
Well, you know what this
Open
makes me think,
invitation.
Brittany, is what about Cinderella? She had a pumpkin turned into a coach, and she got inside of it and rode to the ball. What kind of sorcery was that? I mean, of course, it was all magic to make that happen, so we know that that's
Right. It was
evil.
a fairy godmother.
Right,
That
which
was
is really
evil.
just Satan in disguise, right? It's one of
Dress
Satan's
as
demons.
a masquerade. That was
As an
Satan,
angel
was
of
the
light.
fa-
Oh, we figured out. We have decoded
Oh.
Cinderella. It is all
Satan
just,
is the fairy godmother in the
yeah,
masquerade costume as the angel
carving
of light
pumpkins
carving
and
fucking pumpkins.
sticking the innocent orphan girl inside the pumpkin, because just like Judgment House, where the girl that gets raped goes to hell, the innocent orphan girl that's traumatized and doing everything
There
she
you
can
go.
to please her evil stepmother gets
Mhm.
shoved in the satanic pumpkin of doom and is just
I
wrought
think
with
you've
evil.
really uncovered something there, Kristen.
I
I
have.
never thought of it that way, but I think that's it.
Oh, the burden on my soul.
I will never be able to watch Cinderella and not see the little
Yeah.
sweet fairy godmother as
When
Satan
she's
in
singing,
disguise.
"Someday my prince will come," and thinking,
Oh,
"Someday I'll sacrifice my children on this pumpkin."
I'm sure that's what happened because 4 generations later.
Later, yeah,
Mhm.
Cinderella is cooking and eating her grandchildren. Now we know. Now we know what really happened.
Indeed.
Oh,
Now we know.
wow.
Well, I just wanted you to be safe.
Okay, well, I'm
I
already
think
not
it's
safe because I've
an
done so
informed
many things
decision.
to invite Satan into my home and life. So I'm already not safe. Now I need to have like some sort of seance. I need to have an exorcism done.
Well, okay, you bring up something really exciting, Kristen,
Okay.
because next week I am going to Salem, Massachusetts, and I am going to be recording
hmm
and doing some investigative reporting on all of the fun satanic things of Salem. I'm
Oh,
going
the
to be a
witches!
part of the Satan
oh.
worshippers, witches, and warlocks. I will be in their
Oh.
midst.
What do you have? Is that a witch's hat?
This is my witch's hat.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, we gotta screenshot this and put this on. Those
I'll
of
be
you
wearing this
listening,
next week
yeah.
as we come to you from Salem, Massachusetts, where I am going to be a part of a seance.
And doing all kinds of witchy things.
Things. I'm going to a seance. Yes.
They're gonna get you, my pretty.
Oh, I know. Now, what I'm really interested in is discussing on this podcast. The reason for the witch trials was all of those pilgrims and Christians who killed
Mm-hmm.
these innocent people for really fucked up reasons. So
In the
that's what
name
we'll be
of
talking about.
Jesus.
Yay.
Yeah,
That's what we'll be
in the
talking
name
about
of
next week.
All right. Why Christians
Yay.
kill innocent women. Let's Yay, I can't wait.
Yes, just like Judgment House, bringing it all back around
Right.
that those women are gone straight to hell. We got to get
Uh,
rid of these evil women.
oh my goodness. It's
Women
all
are the
started with Eve.
worst.
All started
I
with
know.
Eve.
I
Mm.
know. We're just the
Uh,
worst. So, all right. Well, that'll be next week,
all right. It'll
folks.
be delightful. I can't wait.
Yeah. We'll be coming
All
to
right.
you from Salem. So, I'll let you know all about
Live from
it.
Salem, Massachusetts.
I don't know if it'll
It's
be live. I
Oh,
think
okay.
we'll see.
Recorded from Salem, Massachusetts. It's Dr. Brittany Dahl in her witch hat.
Oh gosh. All right.
All right.
Well, have a good week.
Fare thee
Thanks for
well.
thanks everyone for joining us. Please let us know all about the Judgment House and Hell Houses if you attended.
Oh,
We want to know.
please post on our Facebook page or our Reddit uh thing. I still don't know what the Reddit terms are.
All right.
Or tweet us on
No.
X or all the social media crap. Send us some photos on our Insta. I'm so
All
old and out of
right.
it. Ay, caramba. All
I
right.
love it. Bye.
Bye, you evil thing.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this episode. Please subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. Let us know what you think in the comments and if you have any topics that you would like for us to address in later episodes. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon.